Welcome to Mexico, where we start the weekend with Friday practice. This session will give us a good indication of just who has the upper hand for qualifying tomorrow. We can see, of course, plenty of activity in the garages as we wait for the green light to get this session underway. Anthony Davidson, thank you for joining me once again. What are you going to be looking out for once the cars get out there on the circuit today?
Well, naturally, in any free practice session, you can never be sure exactly what programs the teams are running, how much fuel they've put in, and so on. So it's important to resist the temptation to draw any firm conclusions from the fastest times on the monitor. What we can do, however, is look for consistent pace over the course of multiple laps. So if someone does half a Grand Prix distance, and they're consistently half a second quicker than another driver doing the same, then that's generally a good indicator of a car with a solid race pace.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video here today. We're back again for career mode here today at the Mexican Grand Prix. Fourth last round of the season, I think this is, so we're getting close to the finale. Season 2 is not too far away, so I'm looking forward to that, but obviously we can't look too far ahead. We've still got a job to do. We've still got to finish off season 1 on a high note, on a positive, so we'll be attempting to I think just keeping the momentum going from last time out. Where were we last time out? We were at Suzuka. I think we come away with P3, if my memory's correct. I should remember because I only uploaded it like 24 hours ago, I think. So it's, I guess you could class this as back-to-back uploads if you want to. But yeah, so I think if Perez won the Japanese Grand Prix last time out, then I think it was Bottas and ourselves in P3. So I'm not going to lie, I don't think we'll be able to replicate that here today. Obviously, I am going to be trying to get on the podium and always just to try and get up as high up the field as we can. Practice, though, as you can see, we had a few moments. The biggest one definitely was what you just saw there on screen, where we tangled with Max Verstappen, who just chose the worst place to get out of the way when we were on a push lap. And yeah, we ended up colliding and both of us spun out, so that wasn't quite ideal, but other than those one or two little moments, we got through practice fairly easily. I think we passed every program with a purple score, which is nice, so we should be good heading into qualifying. Main aim is to get into Q3 again, like always, dry qualifying and race as well, so we don't have to worry about any rain impacting either session. But upgrade-wise, we've saved all the durability parts for the start of Season 2, so that's helpful, so we won't have to worry about repurchasing any of them, but that's everything, I think, so let's go get into qualifying for the Mexican Grand Prix. Let's go.
Not long now until the lights go green for the Mexico Grand Prix qualifying, so let's get ready and see who has that pole position winning performance in them this afternoon. And as we wait, poised for the start of what will hopefully be a thrilling qualifying, why don't you tell us, Anthony Davidson, about the things you can do to really get the most out of a car in a session like this?
Well, you're largely limited by the Parc Fermé regulations, of course. Back in the old days, pre-2004, you'd work on both a qualifying setup and a race setup over practice, and then swap them over after qualifying. So the race car was quite different at times to the qualifying car. Nowadays, though, you have to find a compromise that works for both. There are a few things that you can still adjust during the session, such as the differential, the brake bias, and the front wing angle, but that's about it. So it's more about optimizing what you do have and adapting your own style to suit the track conditions.
Alright, welcome guys to qualifying for the Mexican Grand Prix. Like usual, decided to leave it right till the last minute to settle out, because I felt like our pace was good enough to get us out of qualifying 1. We followed Lewis Hamilton a bit here on this lap. We've got a bit of dirty air through the middle sector, but shouldn't affect us too much across the line, and it's only P14, so we're quite close to the cutoff actually. And as we cut onto the end of the session, we have not made it through. Wow, okay, so we've been knocked out in qualifying 1 here for the Mexican Grand Prix. Not gonna lie, that is quite depressing actually, especially seeing Sergio up in P3, so we're 13 spots down on our teammate, so man, that is not good. So that's yeah we're going to have to really try and pull a rabbit out of the hat here in the race and try and catch back up the Perrys if we can. It's going to be a fair bit of work, but we'll see what we can do. But yeah, that was a fairly short qualifying, so let's go to the Mexican Grand Prix.
Bad luck in qualifying. That's not exactly ideal. But there's no points for Saturday. Keep a cool head and make up for it in the race.
Formula One may have been absent from Mexico for 23 years, but after 2015's triumphant return, it was as if we'd never been away. In Mexico, a Grand Prix is more than just a race. It's a celebration of speed and of bravery. There's nothing quite like the atmosphere in the stadium today. They'll be drowning out the cars with their noise as they make their way through on lap 1. The Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez, 2.6 miles of track that allows drivers to take full advantage of their cars, reaching speeds in excess of 220 miles per hour, and providing lots of opportunities for overtaking. The circuit features 17 corners, 10 to the right and the remaining 7 going to the left. And it's an absolute pleasure to be joined once again by Anthony Davidson. Let's talk about Lee. They're starting towards the back of the field today in a car that is fast, so they'll be disappointed, won't they?
They'll have a sinking feeling as they look up from the cockpit and realise they're in a different postcode to the start line for sure. But the one positive they can hold on to is that the car is quick and they can make their way through the field.
It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, and it's Charles Leclerc in P2. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Vettel, Bottas, Max Verstappen and Perez, Magnussen, Raikkonen, Weber and Devon Butler, Albon, Gasly, Daniel Ricciardo and Norris, Lee, Stroll, Romain Grosjean and George Russell. Kubica and Daniel Kvyat completes the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
Not a great starting position for us, but hopefully we can improve the situation throughout the race.
We will try and do that, boss. Welcome, guys, to the grid of the Mexican Grand Prix. Starting P15 after, I think it was Danny Kvyat, has ended up with a grid penalty of some description. So we're 15th on the grid instead of 16th, so doesn't really make a difference. We're still technically down the back, which is not where we need to be. We know we can be a lot further up, and we know we should be a lot further up, so it's we're probably going to have a hard time of things during this race, not going to lie. We're going to have to push like a bat out of hell here at the start to try and maybe get up into the top 10 if we can. But obviously the start is... it probably actually doesn't matter that much if you don't end up with a good start, because the straight here at Mexico is so long. You can just make up so much time with the slipstream, so it's going to be interesting to see who can use that to full effect on the run down into turn 1, if there's going to be any big movers and shakers. Hopefully we can be one of the big movers and, yeah, as I said, climb our way up towards the front of the field as quickly as we can and try not to let the front runners escape. Obviously, I'm not really 100% sure of what my race pace is. I'm hoping it's going to be good. I'm relying on the engineer in terms of the strategy this race as well, going on a 2-stop, despite the fact that I personally did kind of want to try a 1-stop. So I'm relying on Jeff here today, so hopefully he gets this right. Otherwise, I'm not going to be happy. But here we go, awaiting 5 red lights for the Mexican Grand Prix. And away we go. Looks like a pretty average start, actually. Looks like a very average start. And Norris, Ricciardo and everyone has got quite a good launch in front of us. We're being attacked now from Stroll, Kubica, everyone behind us. But we're going to go down into turn 1 now. Hard on the brakes, around the outside of quite a few cars now. I couldn't spit out what I wanted to say there, but anyway. Around the outside now. And it looks like we're up to P12 now. We've disposed of about 3 cars. We've got Gasly in the Red Bull alongside us. Devon Butler just in front of us. Are we going to try and dive our old nemesis? No, I thought about it. I didn't think it was worth it. Gasly's still there on our inside, but we give him the squeeze. Now we're going to send it up the inside of Butler as well. No contact made. So close, mind you, but we get away with it. That's up to P11 already. Cutting on to lap 2 now. And we're going to send it on Albon, are we? No, not quite. Once again, I thought about it, but I didn't think it was worth it in that particular spot. But we get a good run and we're going to go up the inside just like we did to Devon Butler a lap before on the tyre driver. Job done. That's up to P10. So pretty good start, and there's a yellow flag in front of us. That's a very sick engine. And who is that? That is Kimi Räikkönen. Oh my god, we nearly ran into him. Okay, that was a bit awkward there. Kimi was really making no attempt to pull off the racetrack, but in saying that, I think it's Lucas Weber was making no attempt to get around him, as Albon now tries to fight back. Tries to go around there outside in the stadium section. Surely he's not going to pull that off. No, we kind of shut the door on him there a little bit. And we maintain what is P9 now after Räikkönen retired. So, man, what a hectic couple of corners that was, eh? We had to try and avoid the blown up fin and fended off Albon, but cutting onto lap 4. Now we're trying to go around the outside of our old F2 teammate Lucas Weber now. We should get this done, and we do. That's up into P8 now, past our old teammate back in the F2 days. That seems like a long time ago now, doesn't it? But anyway, cutting off the lap 6. Now we've got a good run on Kevin Magnussen for P7. We go clean around the outside. K-Mag's still there on the inside though, so we have to leave the space side by side now, and we just get ahead of him. Did chop his nose off there a little bit, not going to lie, but he wasn't technically alongside. You couldn't see the red proximity arrow, so I wasn't really going to leave room there if it wasn't necessary. So, yeah, but anyway, cutting on to lap 10 now. Coming in for the first of our compulsory pit stops now for a set of medium tyres. Perez not too far up the road as we come in, so hopefully this undercut might allow us to gain on him a little bit. In saying that, I don't know what Perez is going to do strategy-wise, and we're actually going on to another set of softs, oddly enough, so looks like we're going softs to mediums, it looks like, so yeah, this is going to be interesting. So we'll see how this works out at the back end of this race, and yeah, hopefully this can pay off on a fresh set of mediums. But cutting on to lap 12 now, when we're starting to catch a bit of traffic here, Romain Grosjean, Lance Stroll, and I can't quite tell who that is up ahead, but we're going to try to go round the outside of Stroll as well. There's the other McLaren of Devon Butler. We dispose of Stroll round the outside as well. Real clean move on the Canadian, that was really nice. And now we are right up the back of our old rival Devon Butler, but with the better tyres, superior grip, we're able to draw alongside onto the front straight now. Rich fuel mixture overtake DRS, and we just blast past on McLaren, leave him for dead. And look at to the right side, that is Charles Leclerc in the Ferrari, and we have jumped the Monegasque driver. So this is quite interesting now, because Leclerc was ahead of Perez, and I think he was actually in the fight for the podium. So if my math is correct, we could actually be genuinely in the podium fight right now. So this is really interesting. Coming on to lap 14 now, Perez was in the pits, we've jumped him. There's Max Verstappen, Charles Leclerc right behind us, trying to have a go at us as well. Here's Valtteri Bottas just ahead of us, and all these guys were like right at the front of the race. So we are genuinely back in this podium fight right now. We're going to try and make the move on Bottas for P4 if we can. We're going to have to go the long way round the outside. This will be difficult on the Works Mercedes. We go really deep, trying to get this done. He's still there, but we get the move done round the outside. How about that? What a move. So we get the job done. That's up to P4. Cutting on all the way to lap 20 now, and Max Verstappen has actually overtaken us. I think he accomplished that about 2-3 laps ago or something. We've been able to stay with him, and now I've decided it's time to come in for a set of medium tyres. 16 laps to the end, they should make it fairly easily. We were able to gap the likes of Gasly and Perez behind us. So now for the last 16 laps of this race, it's basically just going to be a case of we just got to try and run him down. We've got to try and run him down and see if we can get back up to where we were. Going to be a long shot. That's 21-second pit stop around here, and we were probably about 5-6 seconds ahead, so we've probably got about 15 seconds to try and find to get back up to Perez. Not going to be an easy feat, and yeah, so our charge starts now, I guess, for the final 15 laps. First off is Daniel Ricciardo, our fellow countryman. Crucially, one thing to note, we're out of the points right now, we're in P11, but it looks like we're about to change that DRS slipstream overtake round the outside of our fellow Australian. That's up into P10, back up into the points now. Next on the hit list is Lando Norris in the Alfa Romeo. That still feels weird to say. I don't think I'm ever going to get used to that. Lando Norris in Alfa Romeo. That just feels weird. But anyway, getting on to lap 23, fastest lap of the race from us, and that is Lewis Hamilton coming out of the pits in the Mercedes. So he's obviously on a two-stop just like us. So that'll be very interesting, Team Radio.
Gap to teammate ahead is 8.9 seconds. They're on old hards. They're in fourth. The time last lap was a 1 minute 18.1.
Alright, just getting an update on the whereabouts of the Mexican. About 9 seconds up the road, we've got about 8 laps to go, so we'll just get the hammer down now to the rest of the race. But unfortunately, as we cut on to the final lap, there was nothing we could really do. Leclerc, I think, has overhauled Perez to get up to P4 as well, so Perez back down into 5th place now, but unfortunately, we just didn't have enough to get up to our teammate. We have gained on him a little bit, but unfortunately, we were just running out of laps. We were running out of fuel, running out of ERS, running out of tyres, and personally at this stage, I was actually starting to run out of energy a little bit as well, so I was glad this race was coming to an end, not going to lie, but yeah, Lewis Hamilton behind us. Ironically enough, he actually wasn't really able to put up any kind of a fight in this final stint, which I found to be quite strange. I expected Hamilton to be all over us, but he really had nothing for us, which was quite unusual. So, yeah, anyway, that's a bit of a shock, but that doesn't really come as a surprise. Max Verstappen wins the Mexican Grand Prix for Red Bull, so congrats to him. I'm sure the team will be over the moon with that. But I'm sure the home crowd will be delighted for their home hero as he comes across the line for P5. But we come across the line and it's going to be P6. All in all, pretty solid race.
It was a magnificent race and a drive right out of the top draw to take the win for Red Bull today. What do you think it was, Ant, that gave them the edge over the competition today?
Well, time management probably played quite a large role in the outcome of this one. As ever, it's not just about speed, it's all about maintaining that speed consistently over a stint, over a race distance. So being able to keep up the lap times while still being smooth on the controls and gentle on the tyres, that's really where the race was won today.
Red Bull are our winners today after showcasing some incredible driving. There's been a huge push from them lately to stay competitive with the other teams, and they're certainly proving themselves.
So there we go, guys. That has been the Mexican Grand Prix here today for career mode. Another pretty successful race, coming home in P5 and P6. So really, really solid double points finish for the team. Coming from P15, I think that's a drive we can be very happy with. Up 9 spots, and I don't think we can complain too much about that. Driver standings, we're looking pretty good to stay in P3, so it's been a pretty good weekend. So let's go talk to Claire, see what she reckons about it all.
Amazing performance out there. I'm sure you're pretty happy with that. Did you struggle to get through all that traffic today?
No, I don't really think we struggled. The car was strong in the areas we needed it to be, and it worked well.
So talk us through what happened between you and your rival today.
Well, he was simply the quicker driver out there today. He handed our backside to us, so we'll bounce back next time.
Do you think you were lucky not to end your race with that crash?
Once again, I've got to say, I don't know what the hell you're looking at, because we didn't crash at any point. So I don't know what you're watching, Claire, but maybe actually look at the race and see what's going on in future, okay?
Great. Well, that's everything.
Alright, thank you very much, Claire. Next time, pay attention and ask some questions that might actually be related to what actually happened. But anyway, so yeah, there we go, guys. That has been the Mexican Grand Prix here today for episode number, oh boy, what are we? 18, 19? I think this might be episode 19. I think, don't quote me on that. Episode 19, round 18. I think that's right. Do we meet the team goal? No, we don't. Bugger. Anyway, I think Emma or Jeff or someone has a word for us. Let's listen in.
That's a great result. You did really well. I don't think we can have any complaints with that performance.
Well, I should hope that no one has any complaints, because 15th up to P6, I definitely wouldn't be complaining about that. But anyway, so yeah, that has been today's video, guys. If you guys enjoyed, remember to leave a like, subscribe, so you can stay tuned for plenty more. Upgrade wise, we've got a few options we can go for. I'm thinking about aerodynamics, not gonna lie, thinking about some downforce. We're gonna put a brand new engine in for next episode as well, for the final 3 rounds. So hopefully that should see us through to the end of the season, and we'll start fresh in season 2. But yeah, as I said, thank you guys for watching, and until my next video, which will probably be out maybe in 2 days or so, I haven't fully decided yet, but until then, I'll see you guys next time.